Hello and welcome to another episode of Mr. M Rocks. Today's project, we're going to do a self-portrait. This is my self-portrait, and when we run this program, we're going to have the eyes of this character follow the mouse, wherever the mouse goes. We're going to use some of the same code later to move a turret so that the turret follows an object on the screen. We're going to use this code for our tower defense game. But for right now, all we're doing is we're going to have the eyes follow the cursor wherever it happens to go. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to making a couple of points about drawing my character. If I go into my library and go into Mr. Notice I have three layers: eyes, head, and action script. If I get rid of the head layer, I can see the eyes are just the eye from the library. I've made them two different sides because the head is kind of at an angle. And when I did my head, I left these two places blank so we can see through them. Just as long as the head layer is on top of the eye layer, I can see the eyes through the head. And then my action script is very simple. This action script is going to be, I've got an eye, and to the eye I add an event listener, and every time I enter the frame, I'm going to go ahead and call the function moveEye. The function moveEye, again, takes a parameter but does not return anything. What's going to happen is I've got my two eyes. If I look back on the main stage, by the way, and if I want to look at these eyes specifically, it turns out this guy in the properties panel, I've given the name eye right, and this guy in the properties panel, I gave the name IL for eye left. Okay, so now that I'm in using IR and IL for coding, I can come back in here and see IR dot rotation. So I'm calling the rotation property of the right eye and the rotation property of the left eye, and I'm getting degrees. So this is a function that we're going to use to get the degrees of the rotation for each eye. And all I'm doing is I'm sending in the x coordinate of the eye and the y coordinate of the eye. I'm comparing that to the x coordinate of the mouse and the y coordinate of the mouse. I do that for both the right eye and the left eye, and I call this function that I wrote called getDegrees. GetDegrees is pretty straightforward, but what it's doing is it's taking in the x coordinate of some object, and doesn't care what object. Notice I'm passing in the x coordinate of the right eye here and the x coordinate of the left eye. So here it's just going to receive in some number. In fact, all four of these parameters are numbers, and so this refers to the x coordinate of one object, the y coordinate of the first object, the x coordinate of the second object, and the y coordinate of the second object. The reason I need to do this is if I use a function called arctan2. It's in the math class, and what arctan2 is going to do is it's going to take in the difference of the y coordinates of these two objects and the difference of the x coordinates, and what that's going to give me is going to give me the arctangent will give me the degree measure in radians. Unfortunately, what I want for my property is degrees. Since arctan is returning radian values, I just do a simple conversion. I take degrees divided by pi, the way we refer to pi in ActionScript is we go to the math class and we use capital P, capital I. That's the value pi. And 180 divided by pi will convert my radian values into degree values, add 180 to that and return it, and that's going to give me the rotation. Now if I hit Control Enter, I can see that my eyes follow wherever the mouse goes. That's it for today. Bye-bye.